You want her to win almost immediately. So, with
Thank
that said, when you read the script, what was it about this story, this character that moved you to want to be a part of this project?
It's not like we haven't thought about adopting 1,000 times.
Yeah, through an agency with a reputation and fancy plaques.
Plenty of people don't use an agency to adopt. It's more common than you think. Okay, and we will still use an adoption attorney. Georgia already has one picked out that she likes.
Yeah, I bet she has.
If you don't want me to get poked and prodded anymore, this is our chance.
It was something very different. And, you know, as an actor, of course I like doing roles that I enjoy, that feel good, you know, all of that. But sometimes it's also like fun to take on a challenge. And it was interesting because it was at a very interesting time in my life. You know, I'm reading this script and this story of this woman who is, you know, willing to go to any lengths to not only have a family, but to protect her family, right? And meanwhile, this woman is yearning for a baby, and I am actually pregnant at the time when we shot this movie. So I think it just really spoke to me, you know, on a multiplicity of levels. And I just thought it was a really interesting film. It's very different than, you know, a lot of the roles that I've played. And yeah, there was something about it, even on the page. It was one of those that you kind of keep wanting to see what's going to happen. And you know, my husband was actually he was like, no, this one is good. He was like, definitely. And he always jokes with me because, you know, I'm just like I'm a rom-com, happy comedy. Like if I'm watching movies or television, that's my personality. So this is very different for me. And he was just like, no, I think this is going to be a really good project. So I was like, all right, well, let's do it. We're going to Canada.
So in terms of your process, did you do anything special to prepare for this role and fully occupy the headspace of this character?
The way I do things is more as being very present in the moment. And, you know, despite having different circumstances and different life experiences, what I know is that all people connect on a very small range of emotion. Everyone feels anger, sadness, you know, joy. Like those are very basic human emotions that even if you haven't had this experience in particular, you have had an experience that connects you to that emotion. So that's how I approach things. It's more being very present and honest in the moment versus it being, you know, rehearsed, contrived, or manufactured.
Absolutely. So on that note, you know, of course, when we prepare for these things, the media is always lucky enough to get an advance copy of the film before our readers. So for my readers who've not seen anything about this tale yet, tell us about Bethany. How would you describe her and the journey she's going to take us on in this film?
Bethany is a woman who loves her family immensely, who is successful in her own right, has her own business. And it's that thing of having it all, but still having something that you yearn for so deeply that keeps eluding you. You know, she's tried to have a family of her own, to grow her family, and she's just encountered so many twists and turns in the process. So this is her journey, her very unique journey to motherhood, but more than anything, it's just finding just peace and appreciation and love within all that exists. And knowing that, you know, even though I think I don't want to give it all away, but, you know, so often we feel like when we have this, we will be happy. When we have this, whatever it is, we will be complete. And a lot of times we forget to be happy and complete in the moment. And the more happy and complete you are in this moment called now, that's where happiness lies. It's not once you achieve this or get this amount of money or this child or this husband or any of those things. When you're happy with where you are, it all falls into place.
No injections, no trauma, no drawn-out adoption process.
Okay, how much does she want?
$30,000. And I think we should buy her a car.
You're joking.
She already has an offer from another family.
And let me guess, she wants the money up front.
Half, yes?
So let me ask you, before you signed on for this role, did you know much about the adoption scam industry. I mean, this is real life. This is a big deal, and it's global. What did you know about this? This issue, this problem, before going into this.
I mean,
this project.
Probably just what anyone else knows about it. When you look at it, you understand that this actually does happen. Recognizing that. I know a lot of times that's why adoption can be very hard for people, because even when it's not a scam and it's, through the process, and a lot of states, they do have laws where you have like a limbo waiting period, where when you're going through a very legal adoption where the birth parents can change their mind. And I can't imagine how heart-wrenching that must be. Or, you even deal with Miss Bethany and her husband Terrence have a foster child that they are in the process of adopting. But that rug is pulled from beneath their feet because the birth mom decides at the last minute, right as it's being finalized, that she wants her rights back. So, it's hard. And, a lot of people have had this experience, whether it's trying to conceive and not being able to, whether they've gone through IVF and not had viable eggs, or, there's so many different paths to motherhood. And, I was saying when I was meeting earlier, we were doing press with another outlet. I executive produced a documentary last year called Eggs Over Easy, which is all about Black maternal health, as well as, your journey to motherhood, whether it's you choose to be childless, if you do IVF, if you do a surrogate, if you do adoption, telling these stories. So I guess from that, I have a little bit more insight because, I've studied this and I've been on that journey in terms of, IVF and knowing what that is. And a lot of people, despite science, like in Bethany's situation, can't have children on their own. But what I would say is that, the children that are destined for you, whether they come through your womb or not, will find you. You will find each other. And it doesn't change your being a mother. It just doesn't. Everyone has a different journey.
Amen to that. It's funny you should say that, because my mother, I don't have children, but my mother's been telling me for the past year, you should adopt, because I'm always collecting pets. I love to bring in dogs and foster dogs.
Oh, we have goats, chickens, we have all of it. So I understand. But, but also, we have to understand as a society that, like I tell people all the time, like, back about my uterus, like, it is your choice, whether if you choose to have children, if you choose to be child free. Like, some people make that conscious decision, and it is okay. You are entitled to do what is best for you, your body, your mental health, your well-being. And a lot of people haven't gotten that memo, even if it's, especially being in the spotlight, being, a celebrity, people are always like, you gained 5 pounds. No, I ate a cheeseburger. I'm not pregnant. Or and you never know where you are in this journey, because there are times like, women's weight just fluctuates. So it's not your job to track it. But, there have been times in the media where, yes, I may have gained weight, but it's because I had a miscarriage. And to have to explain that is horrible. So you have to allow people the privacy and the space, to share in their time, and to just give grace and not make assumptions about what people are going through, because you honestly never ever know.
There is a little boy out there who needs a home, who needs a father, someone to wrestle with and play football. Georgia can work with me until she has the baby, and then she's off to Florida. And then we have our family back. 1 girl and 1 boy.
Yeah, one very pricey receipt.
What if God sent her here for a reason?
The scamming with adoption could scare off potential women who, like you said, can't have kids but want to adopt. And then they learn about the scams, and it gives them pause to proceed.
A reputable agency.
Yeah, right?
Someone that has reviews, that has, and I mean, there are reputable agencies out there that have been around a very, very long time. Do your due diligence, do your homework, and honestly, if it's too good to be true, it may be that. So I definitely encourage people to use your intuition, but also there's so many resources at our fingertips nowadays to look into, all businesses. The internet kind of has created a space where everyone can throw a page up and look legit, but there are ways that you can vet companies that you're working with.
Absolutely. And really quickly, I know for myself as a television lover of television and television shows, a TV fanatic, like these stories, these TV movies that are inspired by true events or ripped from the headlines, they just make for great narratives.
Absolutely.
Audiences can't get enough. So my question to you is, in your opinion, why is that it? Why is that, these ripped from the headline tales, that Lifetime and other networks bring us? Why do you think audiences can't get enough and eat them up so quickly and want more?
I think because I love stories that have truth behind them and are authentic, because I think they resonate with people. It's the knowledge of, oh my goodness, we are getting this insight into the real life of someone, and I always say that it's in real life where it all happens in perfect harmony, whether it's the drama, the comedy, that emotional roller coaster is just so real and authentic when you're telling an actual story.
What are you hoping viewers, especially women, parents, Black women especially, take away from this tale?
I hope that people realize a few things, that yes, this is a horrid tale and it has a lot of twists and turns, but there is always a rainbow at the end of every cloud. At the end of the day, life happens to everyone. We all go through stuff, but we've survived 100% of our bad days.